since I was born at the commencement. I adore squash, beans, and corn. Lots of strings and horns. Over the beat, swing of a one. Outdrum the outcome, the child of athlete is back in action. Fact, not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens, more like commercials. With whack acting, from commercial to action. I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society, where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying spree. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel. Can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion. So please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late and hollow years. See the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective. Decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace, where each one teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fuse my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little star, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too. To link you to source, yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, no oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up.
Here. Okay, go. Stop being so picky.
The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling immense pressure. Some store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. I expect more from those who want to conquest except war. They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot this sheriff meaning. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this canonical. If your brain's deeply maniacal, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Plant and the devil to stand the weather. Sound strong, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. based on real life. It's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. It's nothing like the old school. This goes way back. Before I was knee deep out in them streets, gang.
Yeah, I just don't like the camera in my face. That's why I always leave it back without explaining. I don't like it in my face. I just don't.
I arrived.
What's going on there?
In 1970, August 14th,
having a little bit of Al Dilly Red.
First one of five, alive.
First class.
Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my low lows and my newly heights. Childhood, not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was mad. That's why not I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fit off the jinns whispers.
DJ.
It was like my mother and father tried to hide us.
What's your society? What's going on? Herbo, Engineer Turtle, Scott, T. Got your viewers, you already know. What's going on, brothers? What's going on, brothers? My powerful brothers. I'm just going to get the read in. It's not going to be long because I really want to come back. I want to come back at 5, and I want to get into the Negro Project. I went ahead and read a little bit. Got to. And William Cooper, we have to get through the rest of those. I know it might seem boring. Let me just go ahead and end it. I know it might seem like it's boring, but the Constitution is very important, and I believe the children should be taught it, regardless of what's going on. I wanted to mention something else. Any of y'all ever take a look at the map of the lands that the Chinese and Bill Gates have bought up for the farmland? First of all, it's not even legal for him to do that, and it's part of the agenda. But you would think that all these farmers and these so-called governors and these politicians and marshals and sheriffs and all these fake esquires would point to that. Now, I forget when the law was created. It almost was 1939, 1930. I forget when it was. But it's nothing. He doesn't own anything. He can't loan it because he didn't talk to the spires of land, the heirs of it. It's all illegal. The pop of all means nothing. And I just don't get the people who want to paper chase. The complexities of a whole diatribe of foolishness. To me, what? Then why don't y'all do the same thing and say, no, we're going to take this whole block. How you gonna pay for it? We don't have to purchase it. It belongs to us already. We don't need squatters' rights or anything, and we're not citizens. We're actually just revamping the land that belonged to our heirs and our ancestors. And so go on about your business. And don't come with crayon colors or color law, to which has something to do with dead things at sea, to which there's a lot of living in there. So please be about your way. We're taking this whole block, and I would expect everybody, at least we're going to, because we're a very loving people, we'll give them the week to vacate. We don't care how. Just like those weak cops and them put those elderly and people in wheelchairs out of homes based on some fake landlord. There's no such thing as a landlord. Until people start studying these things and know the difference, you won't be able to do nothing. Okay? So how's it going, everybody? This is a constitutional monarchy. Exactly. It's not a democracy, right? Not a democracy at all. That's fascism. When did we become fascists? Because we had a lot of preachers and fake governors and everything else who went to all those weird parties, who got our people into affirmative action. What do we need affirmative action for? And then the lie of slavery when the discourse is POWs, because there is no judge, not even a magistrate, but a fiduciary. When it's all based on the Federal Reserve and the BlackRock and all of them. I would love to see people get it together. And then you got the foolish individuals who come along. Well, show me your sources and references. Man, if you don't get your source and reference, look, why don't you go find it? We put the salt down, all right, and we threw the breadcrumbs. Now you go find it. Asking us about on our ancestral soil, because the same people want to murder everybody with an AI system and everything else. Man, we got time for that. We're not playing that today. That's gone. We're at a level right now where everything they've done don't mean nothing to us, but it affects everyone up here. So it robs and steals energy. And here, because it conflicts and confounds. Oh, I also wanted to say, I don't want to say names wrong, so I have to read. Oh, if you don't mind. So I always give thanks to those who make donations. And Raymond Berry, yo, beloved, appreciate that, man. Eugene Washington, I think I got you yesterday. If I didn't, appreciate you. Y'all know already hit by I am Baby Girl Slaughter because she didn't have to do that. And I appreciate the ladies more than anything. They have pretty much and somebody in the very beginning who hit me off with a C note I told y'all like almost a year ago, and you know who you are. And I appreciate that because that's how I was able to buy like what was it, $300 worth of books. I took that 100, and I think Snoo had sent me 25, and I put 150 and bought like 170. I forget it was $400 worth of books, and they're kind of expensive. I'm doing my best to find cheaper ones. Like I said, I found 3 more book companies, Abib and a few others, a couple others, and a little longer. All right. And it's not free. It's like $475, $375. I think the price went up for shipping, but I don't care. So, I'll probably use 2 of those. I stopped by the post office and they said we're still putting out Mr. J. That's what they say over there. That's what they call me, or Chuck. And so I was real appreciative because one of the librarians worked there who likes to give me books, and I told him just hold off for a minute, build up a consortium because I don't want you to be one of those stealing, because you know what I talk and information, stealing from the library and giving it to me, please. He's like, no, we get these over, he he's been there ever since I lived here, so, and he works at the post office, so he has a box, he wants to give me a book, so we'll see, all right, and I'll share that with you. So anyway, thank you again, Raymond, appreciate that, and Eugene, appreciate the donation. So we're going to get to exposing the expositions of 1851 and 1915. And you notice this is revised 2021 from his 2019 edition by Howdy Mikowski. You already know, Court of Honors. That statue is a fraud, yet we had light-skinned brothers here. Don't get it twisted. This is a Negroid continent. But who's to determine what is a Negroid? Because if Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, except for the Negro, who was his brothers? When you look at those born to Shem, that's where people get conflicted. Those are the identities the Gujar, or whatever you want to call them, have been stealing and renaming to create a new world. So then it can be the aficionado of the new world order, like really. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the read. It's paramount that I do this. Oh, when McKinney arrived at the Temple of Music, right before his assassination, bro. That's disturbing, man. I didn't mark it, I didn't. Oh, okay, let me make sure I'm where I'm at. Yeah, when we read about Jumbo, I just want to make sure. I did mark it. I just want to make sure. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now this one's good. And I expressed to y'all about Pennsylvania. I watched a couple of individuals who explore up to 500 to 1,000 feet down. And they have alluded to the fact showing you channels and tunnels and caverns that go deeper with construction. Okay. Paul Cook just posted something he probably put it on YouTube, showing you what looks like a melted building. Red clay, it seemed like, or you know what Stoney calls it, with a fireplace, and you have to look at the photos. Okay, now, he's on Instagram is where I saw it, and that's phenomenal, But let's go ahead and get into it here, and we'll take it right from where I left off. I happened to be watching some YouTube clips of some people who filmed themselves exploring abandoned buildings. In one, they were visiting an old TB hospital or asylum near Buffalo. The hospital, built in 1909, has a giant dome rotunda. They didn't build it. Okay, that's strange. A comment on the hospital, J.N. Adam Memorial Hospital in Pittsburgh, New York, was built between 1909 and 1912. It is huge. Unfortunately, I could not find one photo that can be described as public domain. So you are going to have to do the Google search yourself to see it. What is remarkable is that the beautiful glass on top of the dome is the very same piece of glass that was at the top of the Temple of Music at the Buffalo Fair. Yes, the place where the president was assassinated. It is listed as having been donated as a gift to the hospital by Buffalo Mayor Adam Hu. So the mayor kept the glass where the president was assassinated. Obviously as some sort of trophy. I am sure the group that had Kennedy killed has a number of souvenirs, and they do. So this hospital was started with the souvenir of the assassination. I just wanted to mention that when you look into fairs, parts of them show up in the strangest places. A week after the fair was the report that it had lost over $6 million and that the company would have to default on over $3.5 million in bonds. But Milburn claimed that the money spent was not foolish, but that the Pan American was a masterpiece. And the city, y'all know what Pan American means. It means they're coming here to attire to dress in our old world. Okay. And this, excuse me, not foolish, but the Pan American was a masterpiece. And the city its chosen showcase. Yet Milburn did not stay in Buffalo. He left for New York in a partnership in a law firm. Yes, the Buffalo Fair was a money loser. Had a president assassinated, racism presented in the most foul ways, and animals murdered. You would think that might be enough to stop the whole business of expositions finally, but no. They decided that the next one needed to be even bigger. The next U.S. World Fair was 3 years later in St. Louis, named the Louisiana Purchase Exposition to honor the 1803 purchase of what is now much of central USA from Napoleonic France. France didn't own it, and nobody bought it, and this is all lies. They also demanded and got the Summer Olympic Games of that year to coincide with the fair. The Forest Park site was actually bigger than the one in Chicago, and not just by a small amount. It dwarfed Chicago. The fair inspired the song "Meet Me in St. Louis," Louis, anyway, which became central in the 1944 movie of the same name starring Judy Garland. Okay. A few books I recommend for this to see photos are The Forest City 1904 by William Raoul, who was the official photographer. Now, Louisiana and the Fair, an Exposition of the World by J.W. Boyle, a 9-volume, 4,000-page treatise, final report of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition Commission, and the German book Anschauung. I can't even say that right. Anschauung. I'm saying it wrong, guys. My apology, and I should know better. Anschauung. It's not even how it's pronounced. I can't get it out right now. Anschauung von der Wurzelstellung. An English book partially translated to German. All 4 books can be referenced via studylove.org, 1904 page of St. Louis. Now, I want to show you something at the Central Court in 1904 of St. Louis. They did not build that. And it's obvious. And that's why they were so quick to destroy it. This is your world, people. Okay? And when I say the two distinct people, do not get it twisted. A lot of our so-called Spanish brothers are not Spanish at all. They speak a language. You have to play safe when you don't want to get murdered. I expressed to you about Ukraine going around and before the war started, before Russia didn't do anything. And they started asking people, are you Russian or Ukrainian? And they say, well, I'm Russian, but I'm a Ukrainian citizen. And they murdered them. Okay. And I told you, Russia doesn't have any alt-right. Ukraine does. As far as these fake Nazis, these so-called superior race, whatever you want to call them, okay? I want to read the next part. I got to let you hear this. This was the area of the famous Mississippi mound builders, and one of their cities, Cahokia, is still in East St. Louis with pyramids, temples, and a structure called Woodhenge. It is one of Native America's, it's not Native American, it's American Indians, great early sites, ADD during, because they didn't know nothing about these cities nor the mounds. See how pale skins, light skins mess things up? And see, if you didn't know this, you would have read it and accepted it. A conversation with Michael Juan at Susquehanna Alchemy. Susquehanna is also a tribe in a river. It has nothing to do with so-called New Age Native Americans. We found that the Forest Park sites was actually another large ancient mound builder settlement, similar to Cahokia. And several articles I read described that at least 10 mounds were destroyed to make room for the fair buildings. There are some photos of the mounds, but whatever they wore, one cannot tell by the dirt and grass that cover them. But it does remind one that an ancient ceremonial spot was destroyed and then built on to have this fair. Many of our minds were desecrated and destroyed by the same hypocrites and the liars that most of you people run and vote for and everything else. Because some wayward melanated or carbon-based individual says you must vote, it'll count. You think that I said it? Well, I said it was because I needed more people in here. If you vote, you have a choice. Why would I vote for a lie? I just wouldn't. Excuse me. Next, we'll be getting into The Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. Excellent read. And I did order the third book. Bloody Monday. All right. So there she is in South Africa, and on her Instagram account, I believe the picture shows the whole thing, and she's standing there doing that, so nobody would know to show you that which is based on Tartary. Okay. I can't wait to get into the second book, so I'm gonna push this book, not today. Tomorrow, let's see, Ganja's leaving about 12:01. So probably tomorrow, I'll push it. And whoever else shows up, I hope others come. But hey, look, like I said, me and Ganja be out there blowing up some stuff and having fun. I want to push this and read a couple of chapters. So yeah, he's going to be here, but I'm still going to read because I feel it's paramount. So let's go ahead and break it down. As you know, they were fighting. Azrael walks over towards her and touches her face with his scaly hands like a reptile lets his tongue search the air to taste her fear and pain. So let's pick it up. It didn't have to be like this, Bonnie. It still doesn't need to be. All you need to do is submit to me, here and now, in the coming pain and suffering. If not for yourself and the millions of Tartarian men and women, do it for your precious little twins. He is taunting her, and the blood dripping from her nose stops abruptly. Ooh, I guess she's going peachy mata corn. Anyway, let's go ahead. Time slows down, and she closes her eyes. She thinks about Malcolm and his smile, the way he looked at her, the way he loved her. There is a sudden and loud scream coming from the mountains, and it distracts Azrael for a brief moment. A mere second of a second, and she levitates back onto her feet. Angel of death, you want power? Come and get it. She shouts, and she watches his eyes fill with rage. He wants to storm at her with his claws, aim for her face and head so he can rip it off of her shoulders. But she knows he wants her, needs her, this time. And alive. Mir and the others from the resistance, with the help of Cassiel, are standing steadfast with the staff among them, and it emits the free energy that Azrael so desperately wants to monopolize. He looks over at Bonnie and laughs. Do they not know that it is too late? He scoffs at her, drooling with bloodlust. It is never too late, she replies, and looks down at the floor because it is moving beneath her feet. There is a sudden and bright blue flash, and the entire earth stops spinning on its axis. It makes me think about Alaska not too long ago when the sun simulator blew up. The flash is so bright, it is visible from the galaxy. Brown-colored roots shoot out of the ground and wrap themselves around the legs of the heaven bearers and pin them to the ground. I can't hold them for long. Bonnie, you need to do something quickly. The tree of life implores Bonnie urgently. Bonnie, you need to fight. Sweetheart, you cannot give up. Not yet. He wouldn't want it. Please, Bonnie, Mira is pleading with her too. Bonnie doesn't move from her spot. She stands completely still. Her hands are draped by her side. And she feels, that's what we call it in the military when you stand at a tin hut, thumbs pressed, drape, guideline. Oh, let me shut up. I couldn't help that one. Anyway, Earth to James. Anyway, and she feels a whirlwind from around her, sucking in everything that is less than 2 meters away from her. Mira and Cassiel start to back away from her slowly and realize what she's doing. She is self-destructing, which could cause the entire earth to implode. Everyone, back up now and head to the mountains. Hide wherever you can. Cassiel shouts to the resistance and they start to panic and run away in fear. The heaven bearers start to feel uneasy and aren't sure if what Cassiel just said is part of the deception or not. Niamna's head starts to shake violently. That's a baby's beautiful name, Niamna. And he is frothing at the mouth and his eyes pop out of his head and spill onto the ground. His Tartarian body falls over and begins to shine, the same way a diamond would when the light hits it. Just right, and it slowly floats up into the canopy. His true reptilian-like body remains on the ground where he stood, naked, and melts away until it is completely dissolved into the ground. Samira and Kismet stand before her with fear in their eyes, and for the first time ever, they are terrified of someone other than Azrael. They simultaneously press the blade into the twins' neck, but feel bare skin on skin, and realize that the knives that they were holding disintegrated into nothing. They failed miserably, and they try to get away from her, but the roots are still holding on tight. Cliffhanger. I hope y'all enjoyed that read. So I won't drain myself because I'm definitely going to come back and I want to get into the Negro project. It's going to get a little whoo. All right. So I appreciate everybody coming in, taking the time. What was that, brother? Your sleeve is the sign of life. Nike. And most people don't know. And they want to make it a demigod, to which, in a way, elusively, we can create one. But yes, Nike is. And that's why people don't know when they see that sign, which they attribute to Achilles' wings, or what you call it? Yeah, but who is Achilles? Achilles was a person, or a different sort of individual who fought the enemy. And so they, just like the Tree of Life on Timberland, you had the first Negroes of blaxploitation and Garveyanites who expressed that was the tree they hung people on. That's not a peace tree. That was the giant tree, a tree that stands nowhere around us. Does it mean there's not one here? You would be crazy to think that giant mastodon-like trees don't exist. You don't even know all the lands of the earth. They've been well hidden. An oasis for the enemy to play and attempt to undiscover. You get what you're talking about? But yeah, brother, definitely. Le vice italiano. Yeah, Coupe d'etat, which we're still dealing with right now. Y'all pay attention. Gujarati, which is Gujar, 1J and 2Js. I forget if the Gujar was Gujar and Gujar were like the originals, and then those who were, like you would say, crypto, or, you know what I'm saying? Or who are the first breed of an off-breed of something that was never supposed to be, which there are many running around now. And this is in some of our bloodline as well. But thank goodness for those with, I believe, A, B, and O. AB, or is it A? I think A is still tied to the O and O positive and negative family. And most people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But recessive genes are real. But what they've been doing is manipulating those genes to strengthen them, and it's very secretively. You know what I mean? But yeah, brother. Who else came up in here? So okay. I don't know if anybody has shouted out, and I appreciate everybody that comes in. I really do. The diaspora, 100%. Yeah, of course. Well, you know what's funny? How we forget about the dandelion. Do you know that you could take lemon, like 2 or 3 slices of lemon, 2 or 3 slices of a real orange, and take about a cup to 2 cups of dandelion, the flower, not the bitter root, which is really good for your organs and everything, and you boil that down. And when you get it down, you use about a gallon of water, and you boil that all the way down. And when you get it down to where it becomes like a slurry, you go ahead and you strain that out, and then you take the last of it, which is high in vitamin C and minerals, and you add not beet sugar, but dried cane sugar. And what you get is phenomenal. You get honey. A real natural, because you got to remember the dandelion. The bees pollinate. That's where you get the flavor. People don't know these. I got a whole list of things, but I just thought I would share that before they manipulate and estrange the truth from us. And I need to give some tea, right? Because I haven't really been doing it. And I really seek that y'all look into that, okay? Because I'm thinking about making some of that. I haven't made it in a couple of years. Let's make it on the reservation. And everybody's like, what honey are you using? Oh, no, I made this. And I would show them how to make it, you know? And you can add lavender to it, which gives it an offset, which is really good, but it's really, really healthy, you know? Yeah, that's it. And some people would think that's deadly. No. You know, most of your fries, when you buy French fries, do you know that they fry it in canola oil and soybean oil? So not only are you getting the hydrogenated, which is bad for you, you're getting that stuff that messes with your. So buy a couple of taters and air fry them, and do not use. And people say when I bought mine, because I got mine when they first came out. That's why I still have it. It didn't have Teflon in it. It's like, how come you didn't get that? I said, why would you get Teflon when they told you don't use Teflon? Like, and they were like, oh, we didn't think about it. They were buying the knockoff brands. So if you got one, see if you can order an non-Teflon, and even be careful with ceramic coat. Make sure it's without all the toxins and chemicals. Because just like water, when you boil it, you create fluorine, which is very carcinogenic and deadly. And most people, we didn't know that. So all that tea and coffee we were drinking, it's been our demise. And the medical industry knows this. So that shows you that they will stand in your face and lie. All right. So appreciate you guys. They were taking my thumbnail and removing my thumbnails. I went back and took 1, but 2 I saw. I was like, oh, these people are they on crack and meth? You know? Appreciate y'all. And about 5 o'clock, I'll be back because I want to go to bed a little early too. I know Ganja needs to get some rest because he's going to be on that road. And even though it's going to be a little empty, there's still a lot of tourists around. And you'll probably be able to see something too, beloved. And I'll see y'all at 5. All right. I'm going to finish this little bit of wine here. And let me show y'all. Let me give y'all a treat because, you know, it's no big deal. You know, what's the ads, man? Shut up. This stuff is legal. I'm so tired of them. So I wrote a couple of these. So yeah, this right here is some jamming. I ran out and I didn't pick none up over there in Flagstaff because I know my brother was gonna bring some, and I just didn't want to buy a whole lot and it'd be sitting in the freezer or the fridge. And I'm not really smoking a lot. But see y'all here shortly. This right here. 1, 2 puffs. You got any pain? You got thrombin? You got restless leg syndrome? This right here. Fabuloso. Fabio. How you say it? That's fabulous, okay? Fabioso. So I'll see y'all here in a little. That's enough of me. So Ganja, that'll be here when you get here, man. You're gonna enjoy that. And if T and anybody else coming, you're gonna enjoy that, man. Yeah. So I'll hit y'all at 5.